I am the disabled guy with the disabled life. That podcast is going to be about disabled issues and other things that interest me and others from the disabled community. I did this so that people understand what we go through in life and what we do, because a lot of what we do, it is interesting. I am also going to talk a little bit about ADA and things of that nature. It's something that's very important to me and something that I learned a lot about when I did an episode. I'm going to talk more about it. Okay, this podcast it's going to come out at 10 p.m. Saturday and Wednesday. So, at so that's when that's when I think most people listen. Most people listen at night or have the episodes there for during for the daytime. So let me stop this. Stop. Okay, this is Mental Health Month. Let me talk about mental health a little bit from a disabled person's perspective. What I'm going to talk about today is something that's important to me, because I feel that there's a lot of in the disabled community. There's a lot of isolation, even though I don't have that issue. I do volunteer work, etc. But you have to, in order for you not to be isolated, you as a disabled individual need to proactively look for environments that you're comfortable in, look for friends and things, because if not, there's gonna be a level of depression, and that's something we don't want. And because being disabled can be isolating, but you have to find ways of how to handle that. The reason I'm talking about this is because this is Mental Health Month. If I would have known this, I would have done it. I would have done that earlier in the year and earlier the month. Thank you to a nurse that I talked to on Facebook, on Messenger, and she told me about this. I asked her, and she said, and because I saw a lot of posts on the podcast support community talking about Mental Health Month and Mental Health Month, so I said, when is this? So I asked her when this is, and she told me it's this month. So I'm like, okay, I have a couple days to do it. So I'm going to tell you, it's important to keep to do things to keep yourself occupied, and also not only at home but go out with friends, and go if it has to be, you can go out to eat with friends. You find ways to socialize. You find ways. Like I go to a club meeting and I do exams. I'm friends with all the team members, the exam team members, and it's nice to go hang out with a friend and go eat or something. And I've done that many times. I've done that. A friend and I went out to eat for my birthday. It was after my birthday, but it was done. And what else? It's so find ways, find social opportunities, join clubs. I'm also a member of the Red Cross, which I'm going to get back involved with. And, it's something, another thing that may help you is, if you want to do this, I don't like to do this, I don't need to do it. But there are day programs out there. They were offered to me, I went to visit one, and I realized it wasn't for me. But they're there, if you feel that that's what you need to socialize with people, that's fine. But it's not for me. I'm gonna explain it to you. I am a high functioning dyslexic. High functioning learning disability. I have a high functioning learning disability, meaning that I function as you do, with a few modifications in my world. For example, my computer talks to me. That's a modification in my world. Most people's computers don't speak to them, read to them, but that's the way I do things. Another thing that I do to keep myself occupied is I do a lot of social media because of the podcast I do. For example, I'll give you an example of the way this works. I'll record this now. Have some lunch, and then sit down again here and edit this podcast. And upload this podcast. And then as it says in the intro, at 10 p.m. I'm back here again doing more podcast work because I am promoting it. I'm pushing it out. I'm promoting it, pushing it out, talking about this podcast episode particularly. So, there's things we do, there's things that we can do, and there's things that we have to find ways of doing. For example, there's a lot that you can do, and there's different ways of doing things. You just have to find a way that's comfortable for you and people to support that. People support that. A lot of people honestly don't know how to accommodate us. So we have to show the people how to accommodate us. So that is very important. Don't let people can say, "Oh no, I don't know how to do this," but you say, "Okay, here's my computer, here's my technology, blah blah blah." So it continues on, and you can show them how you work, and they will accommodate you. If they have to put an email in your computer or phone for you, that's fine. Let them do that, as long as they know how to operate an iPhone or whatever phone you're using. Don't give somebody a phone if they don't know what they're doing. But once they know, if they know how to use a phone, do that. And that's something I need. That's something you need to do in order to get yourself out there. Put yourself out there and go places, do things, go to malls, do whatever you need to do, but don't isolate. That sorry. Don't isolate, because that can lead to depression. It can lead to depression, and that's something you don't want to do. Depression is not fun. Don't let yourself go down that road. So I say again, don't isolate. Keep yourself busy. That's what I've learned, to keep myself busy. My hobbies are sit-down hobbies because I'm my cerebral palsy. But I do walk. I do go outside. I use a wheelchair for distance and a walker. Yeah, it's but I do things. I keep myself busy. I volunteer, and all these things. But it's I say again, it's important not to isolate yourself. Thank you for listening to my episodes. My episodes will come out Monday and Wednesday. You can listen to me on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and many others, including iHeartRadio. The reason I've done this podcast is to give people a voice, because I think that the disabled community is missing a voice. But I am in a unique position of being able to afford minimal equipment to do this. I'm going to give you my email address. If you want to contact me, is ke4key@gmail.com. And I will also, you can also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, at The Disabled Guy, and in a few other places where I put my episodes out on Facebook too.